folks, Sean here, and today what I want to talk to you about is how to get yourself out of your own way so that you can launch. Stop obsessing over the little minor details, get your product out there into the hands of users and customers, and start testing it for real. So I mention this because I've launched a new SaaS this week, and while there are a billion things that I would love to change already, and before I launched, I resisted the urge to want to do that because at this point I should know better, you would think. Then, I still had a place to track all those things. So we're using a project management system, Trello. Got all the things that I think might be worthwhile to change about the product experience, but I didn't let the vast majority of those stop the process of us actually launching. So the question is why? The reason for this is because it's very easy to get caught in this as a trap. This is like the perfectionist trap, as I typically refer to it, as in my product experience is never ready. It has to be perfect, has to be tested a billion times, has to throw zero errors or has the potential to throw zero errors. Nothing needs to be wrong with this thing by the time that I launch. Now, I get it. If you've been here, I've been here too, and it is still something you always have to do your best to try to keep in check. Having said that, anything that goes beyond what I typically call launching at 75%, like we always ship at 75%, is to try to avoid falling into this trap. Because you can be stuck here forever. As in, perfecting your product is not really a thing that's even theoretically possible in my mind. So you can continually be adding features and making tweaks and changing the user experience indefinitely. And what that's going to mean is that you never launch your product, you never get feedback, and you're unable to move past that step. So having done that this week with a recent product that I launched, I'm going to share with you what happened. Probably relatively obviously, some things broke, right? But we didn't panic. What did we do? We triaged it, we figured out what wasn't working, and we fixed it. That was literally all that happened. But the good news is that we launched and we figured out what was broken, and some of that stuff that was broken, past the testing that we had already done, we probably wouldn't have caught it had we not launched the product. So ultimately, we got to where we wanted to go faster because we launched sooner. So I'm always an advocate for launching sooner than you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable about launching, you're probably launching too late. And I want you to leverage these strategies and keep these things in the back of your mind when you're thinking about launching your product, because you can get stuck in these traps, you can get stuck in these loops forever. Ultimately, all that matters is you're going to pay attention, you're going to learn things, and you're going to figure out it isn't perfect. It's not expected to be. It's never going to be. So try to temper your expectations when it comes to your product experience and realize that for the best of your product and your customers and users, you want to get it in their hands as soon as possible because, number one, ultimately the goal here is to validate whether or not it's providing with the kind of value that you think that it can. And the longer you wait to do that, the greater the risk of failure for your overall entire project. But number two, and potentially more importantly related to this lesson, you're going to figure out what isn't working and you're going to fix it, because that's exactly what you're planning to do as you're building and managing your product along the way. So that's a lesson I want you to take away from this today. I've done it myself. It's an easy trap to fall into, but don't let yourself fall into it. Just think through methodically the fact that you want to get your product out there and in the hands of customers so you can start performing validation, and the fact that you're going to pay attention and the stuff that you find you're going to fix.